been working with university partners in discussing the possible one-year extension of a couple of our key agreements. One of which is the operating procedures agreement, which is between us and the university and basically outlines the rules of agenda. Rules of agenda? That doesn't make sense. Rules of engagement is the phrase I was looking for there, everybody, in terms of how we operate within the Wilfrid Laurier University confines. We'll be looking to bring a brief to the board at a later date to sign a one-year extension while we work out the renegotiation period of that agreement. And on that same front, we are in the process of doing the exact same process for the Student Affairs Advisory Agreement, which is the group that helps the university oversee and monitor the use of what used to be the comprehensive student services fee, but was broken out into 4 fees within the student affairs realms, all of which can be located on your student invoices. Not the least of which is the athletics and recreation fee. So we will be bringing those to the board at a future meeting to see if we can get a one-year extension of those while we negotiate the bigger agreements. Other than that, I just want to give a big welcome back to students that have come back to campus. Today was officially day 1 of the phase 1 of the return to campus. And there was quite a few students on campus, but I'm not crazy busy. Wilfs continues with a takeout model and is hoping to start in-person lunches a week from today on February 7th, and continue with in-person lunches as well as takeout and takeout dinners up to reading week. They will be closed for reading week and then reviewing whether or not they can have in-person dining for the dinner period on the other side of reading week. But we'll update you as we kind of come through and likely give you the update on the meeting on the 28th of February. Other than that, I want to congratulate everybody that participated in the election. That takes no small amount of courage to kind of put yourself out there. I want to thank all the students who took time to educate themselves and vote. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Executive Director Champagne. Do we have any questions for him? Yes, Mohammed from the gallery.
Quick question. Is the board of directors looking to improve their position in the contracts? And if so, what enhancements are you looking for?
So the organization is, for the most part, pretty satisfied with our position within the agreements. So I'm not entirely sure which agreement you want me to focus on. There will be a couple of key negotiation points within the operating procedures agreement, for example. Traditionally, the one department that gives us a lot of hiccups is the operational part of that contract with regards to facilities asset management, and ultimately who's responsible for what within the realm of the Fred Nichols Campus Center specifically. It's a little bit more clear in Brantford with the Student Center, but we'll be looking to kind of clear up what the custodial costs, trades costs, who's responsible for what piece of equipment and at what level of compensation within the Fred Nichols Campus Center. And then obviously with One Market in the Brantford campus coming online pretty significantly over the last couple of years, we'll be looking to see what role the Students' Union can play in that facility for our students in Brantford. And then we'll probably be looking to build in some language around the expansion around whatever Milton will look like. Generally, these agreements go for about 4 or 5 years. And so by the end of this current or this next agreement, Milton should be very much a reality for the undergraduate population of Wilfrid Laurier University. So we'll be looking to kind of figure out what that looks like within that realm, because the Milton campus will be dramatically different than the Brantford campus or the Waterloo campus, but one that will hopefully grow at a pretty exponential rate. As for the Student Affairs Advisory Agreement, there are some pretty significant things that need to be dealt with, not the least of which is the reserve of student dollars that is found in that fund, which we've discussed amongst the board of directors at an earlier meeting. Actually, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about that because I believe that was done in camera, so I will stop talking about that. But that will be a primary focus of that particular agreement, and kind of cleaning up some of the language around who's required for what type of committee. Right now, it's very old language and outdated with the old vice president of student affairs. David McMurray is all over that. The associate vice president of student and ancillary services and the role that that person plays. There are some very prescriptive language that needs to be a little bit more generalized so that in the event that turnover happens, we have a general idea of who's going to be there, but it doesn't necessarily have to be as prescriptive as it currently is. But those are some of the main things. The agreement shouldn't be that difficult to get across the finish line. But for the OPA, the facilities part will be a sticking point, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you, Executive Director Champagne. Mohammed, does that answer your question or is?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Do we have any other questions from the board or members of the gallery? As I see none, then we can thank Executive Director Champagne for his time and for those updates. Next, we can move on to our next agenda item, which is the 2021 Laurie Student Elections Acknowledgement. So the CRO, yes, there is a slight typo in the error, but update was sent out. But so the CRO, myself as CGO, as well as Ian Muller, along with scrutineers, counted the results, and as per the election policies, GP2J, the CRO, and myself have created the report regarding the minutes of the election, and all that requires is the approval of the board to finalize that. So can I get a motion that the board directors approve the minutes and report of all the results of the 2022 general meetings provided by the Chief Returning Officer? Motion by Director Bryant, seconded by Director Phillips. Would you like to speak to your motion? Any discussion on the matter? As I see none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes with unanimous consent.
Point of order.
Sorry.
I don't believe Director McCarthy voted on this. Unless he's voted, it's just carried.
My apologies, Director McCarthy. Would you please vote? Would you approve, abstain, or oppose? I suppose he's not there. So the vote is carried unanimously without Director McCarthy. My apologies. I am also getting used to this brand new system. This is the first day that we've implemented it. Okay. But with that being said, we can move on to our next agenda item, which is the committee elections. So first, we have two DCI committees. These are actually the last ones in accordance to the governance schedule for year 4, which we're currently on. So we require 2 directors to sit on both of them, and it is regardless of campus. So first we have BMD 2C. So can I get any nominations? The floor is open. Yes, Director Vale.
I nominate Director Bryant.
Director Bryant, do you stand?
Sure. Yes, sorry.
Okay. Any other nominations? Yes, Director Del Giudice.
I nominate Director Phillips.
Director Phillips, do you stand?
I stand.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Anyone want to enter into committee elections?
I nominate Director Del Giudice.
Director Del Giudice, do you stand?
I do not.
Not stand. Okay. Do we have any other nominations today? As I see none, no one wants to go to committee elections. Wow. Then can I get a motion that the board of directors approve of the acclamation of Director Bryant and Director Phillips to the Direction Inspection Committee, BMD/2C. All those motion by Director Vale, seconded by Director Symington. Would you like to speak to your motion? Any discussion on the matter? As I see none, all those in favor?
we have to abstain? Just a point of order, or
I don't think in this case, no.
okay.
Director McCarthy, do you approve? Any abstentions? Any oppositions? As I see none, the vote passes unanimously without Director McCarthy. Moving on to the DCI committee election for GP/2K. So again, we're looking for 2 directors regardless of campus. The floor is now open to nominations. Yes, Director Phillips.
I nominate Director Vale.
Director Vale, do you stand?
We'll see. I mean, I've been on, obviously quite a few committees this year. I'm currently chairing 2 right now. So if nobody else wants to be in a committee, I mean, I guess, but
We
So
can
let's park it.
Let's park it.
Also-
Okay. Then we can move on. Director Bryant.
I'd like to nominate Director Del Giudice.
Director Del Giudice, do you stand?
Likewise to Director Vale, I have served on plenty of DICs, and if nobody else would stand, I will do it. But I'd like to give our directors a chance to be a part of this.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations here today? Yes, Director Vale.
I'd nominate Director McCarthy.
Director McCarthy, do you stand?
Yeah, I stand.
Okay. Excellent. And we have room for one more, so we're still looking for one more nomination. Yes, again, Director Vale.
I nominate Director Shandok.
Director Shandok, do you stand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So I will withdraw my acceptance of nomination for that. Like for my, I don't stand.
Yes. Okay, that is noted on the record. Do we have any other nominations? As I see none, then can I get the motion that the board approve the acclamation of Director McCarthy and Director Shandok to the Direct Inspection Committee GP/2K. So motion by Director Symington, seconded by Director Bryant. Would you like to speak to your motion? Any discussion on the matter? As I see none, all those in favor? Director McCarthy, do you vote in favor or?
Yeah.
Okay. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Then the motion passes with unanimous consent. So thank you. I'll be in contact with both committees to get set up so we can provide quick work and a report to the board within the 2 weeks time of the next regularly scheduled board meeting. With that being said, then our next agenda item is the in-camera session. So can I get a motion that the board go in camera with the executive director, Ian Muller, and CEO Yamloff, as well as the board secretary. So motion by Director Vale, seconded by Director Del Giudice. Would you like to speak to your motion? Any discussion on the matter? As I see none, all those in favor? Any opposed positions? Any abstentions? That being said, then the motion passes with unanimous consent. So in accordance to our new governance process, we will now be switching over to Teams to conduct the in-camera session. So to all members of the gallery, I want to thank you all for joining us. And again, my wholehearted congratulations on a very successful election, and we'll be in contact with you all very soon for your own meeting to elect a new chair-elect and vice chair-elect, as well as onboarding. So, and that, I hope that everyone has a great night. Yes, Director Brian.
Sorry, I did want to make a comment earlier. I don't know if there's a place for me to say this, but I'd also like to extend congratulations to ISO for succeeding in their referendum question as well, because I think that that's very exciting news to double their funding. So that's great to hear as well.
Yeah, I guess with that, we can also say, like, wholehearted congratulations to towards the other referendum question, that being the music chair, and as well for all the other faculty associations too, as well, for having a successful election too. For those of you who are not aware, but were attending the election night for the BTM president, that had an exact 50-50 tie. We received news that both will now be serving as co-presidents. So that's also very, very exciting too as well. So a very wholehearted and great example of the spirit of elections. But with that being said, the board will now move in camera, and we wish everyone else and members of Gallery a wonderful rest of the night. Thank you.